Alright, so let me see. I was gone for a while. I was gone for about I want to say about a week. It was good, leave. I was out with my family on the countryside, and it was a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was a pretty good time, you know. Just trying to get everything ready. Like today is just one of those days where like I struggle to be productive at all, you know. But for the most part, this entire week I did really well. Still haven't broken anything in the sense of like I still take ashwagandha every day. I still try to think more positively, and so far it's been pretty just pretty good, I guess. It's been all right, I guess. I'm trying to think about what I could say. While I was on the countryside, I feel better out over there. I feel better being around family. I feel better being with people. I feel better being out, in more open area that isn't so, just kind of like boxed in, and I could make that go away. I was happy when I was employed. When I had a job, I was really happy. And here I am now, back to, it's been over a year since I lost my job. It's actually been a year and a few days since I lost my job. And it's crazy because I remember when I lost my job, that was probably like one of the worst moments of like the past, 3 years or something. I remember I did everything good. I wasn't a slouch. I wasn't lazy. I would work very good, very hard every day. I would wake up early in the morning, do everything I'm supposed to. I would give my mom 2/3 to half of my paycheck every week. I like my family and myself too. I was very happy. I was happy being employed. I was shy. I didn't have any friends at my job. But that's a big amount of people. A lot of people are like that. People have that mentality, and it's very common that they just go to work and get, do what has to be done, and then they go back home, So that's what I, kind of like did, and I did very well with that, you know. And I remember, like, it's in a way it's almost nostalgic, but not in a necessarily like fond way. I remember like when I started, like, I was like, I'm gonna lose my job. I remember like every day I would go park at a church. I would park at this church around the same area where it was like alone, and I would just like stay out there for a few hours because I didn't want to go home, because I didn't want my family to know I didn't go to work. And I was so devastated about it, man. I was so, because I did good. Like, I initially started as a seasonal, but I did so good, and inevitably you get promoted into a permanent worker. So my pay went up. I was doing really good, and then just terrible luck. I got a terrible virus, took me out for a while. And I missed a solid like week of work. Understandably, they let me go because of that. But as an individual who's just like so shy, I would just say it was very difficult. I remember like even the days where I was still struggling with this virus. I'll say I would still go to work. I would get ready and I would go out, and I would drive 25 minutes to my job, my place of work, and I would park outside for 45 minutes to an hour, and I would watch everybody, of my shift go inside, and I like ended up not getting down ever. I went like 3 times within that week, and I couldn't get down because I was so paranoid, I guess. Paranoid, and I had that virus. And I remember like those days I would go out to the church, and I would just like, I don't know what I was doing there. I don't know if it was like to pray. I don't know if it was like something deep down, like it was like looking for an answer. I think of it a lot of just like I wanted to be outside of the house, and it felt so good to be outside of the house. It really did. I got to do that more often, but now summer's coming back, and it's not going to be a good idea for me. Maybe I could have the windows down or something, but no, I need to have my phone service, But I what do you call it? I ended up just going to that church, and I would just stay out there, and I would see all these people parked outside far away, and I was just like, I was bitter, I was sad, I was angry. And I remember like I didn't tell my family that I lost my job. I lied to them, and I told them that I tried to go get another job, and like they said it was all good. And then when I went there, it was like so packed. It was so full of workers and people trying to get hired that I kind of like they wanted more experienced people in that field, so I didn't make it. I lied to them. My mom knows the truth. Everybody else, they just know that. I miss that job so much, man. And I remember like towards the last couple of days of me being at that job, I remember I had like a little bit of money saved up, after the weeks finished or whatever. And I remember one of those days I would viciously look for jobs. I would download Indeed and all these websites, make accounts, and I got a lot of jobs. I spoke to so many phone calls, and I went to interviews, I went to drug tests, I did all that stuff and passed them. But it was like the thing, I couldn't do it again. I don't know how to explain it. It's pathetic, but it was like I hate that. Like for me, the worst part about finding a job is just the first couple of weeks of like being the new face, and then you got to go through orientation, and you got to do all that annoying crap that I don't like. And it's weird because like when I went to college, I didn't really find an issue with being in a room full of people. But now, I mean, like I didn't like doing it then, but now it was super. It would cause me a lot of issues, which is the most Gen Z crappy thing to say, but I don't know. I remember like after I lost my job, I like tried really hard to find other jobs, which I succeeded in. And I would drive to all these places. And I would, go do the interview, and then I would drive back, and then I would go do a drug test, and all this crap. I'm aware of it. But it's weird how I end up like, what do you call it? It's weird how I end up so aware. I don't know, like I'm aware that all the stress that I put on myself trying to find a job, and then like the last second I'll go inside, is like, it is the most, I don't know how to explain it. It's the most weird thing because I'm aware that I'm doing something dumb. I'm aware I'm doing something wrong. And you know where this started? Because after I lost my job, I tried to go get a job at a delivery place for Amazon. And I was like super nervous the whole thing. Like I was super nervous. It took me like, it was a far place to drive to. It was like 45 minutes away. So I remember I drove out over there, super nervous. I mean, I was super, 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 super nervous. The entire, like, I barely got any sleep at all. Very stressed out. And then, like, I remember I parked, and I'm happy I have a journal, because I remember I took my journal just to write in it. Maybe it would calm me down. But then I remember, like I was in the parking lot. Right, I was just in the parking lot at this new facility, and I was like severely stressed out. I was severely stressed out, like almost like my heart. And I know it's stupid. It's like, dude, what are you bitching and moaning about? People have gone to war, and they've done, like, I know, like, dude, I think it's either like just an individual thing of like just being, having like crappy moments that you allow to control you, allowing these terrible memories to like just, it's your identity or whatever, so, but I remember like that day, I forced myself. I was like, no, you're gonna get down. I don't care if you're nervous. I don't care. I got down from my car, and I went inside the place, and I went to the interview, and I did phenomenal. I killed it. The interview, I killed it. I mean, I did absolutely amazing. Like, it was like, when I got hired at my other, like, when I tried to get hired at my other jobs, I only really got interviewed like one time. I did construction, didn't get interviewed for that because I was working with family, so it was just kind of like bringing somebody along to help. I worked for one day at a grocery store, and I did, what was it, did Amazon, but that one you didn't really need to do an interview. It was just like all on the internet, And I was like super nervous. I sat in the what do you call it? I sat in the place where everybody eats their food. I forgot what it's called. The little area where all the workers just kind of like chill out. And I was like freaking out on my phone. I was just like in my, like, just looking at my phone, trying not to like think about anything. Just get this over with. And then the second this lady comes up to me, she's like, oh, are you this person? I was like, yeah. I stand up, put my chair in, I eye contact, shake her hand. Yes, it's me. Like perfect. Like no, like I wasn't shaky. I wasn't like, my name is, I'm here to get a job. And, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm here for an interview. And I did so well in that interview. Like that chick, like it was great, And then after that, I went to go do a drug test like a week later, and I don't do any drugs or whatever. But that one, like I got really nervous with that one too, because I just don't like being around like people I'm unfamiliar with. You need to get used to it. That was like May, so it's been around a year, I think. I remember because I was like, I remember this shit because I was super nervous being in there. And this is when I still had phone service, so I was like in the main room. I was in the main room just like putting community posts on here, and I remember like people were like, "Bro, shut up." They were like, "Dude, why don't you just?" They were like, "Why don't you just watch DVDR?" And I was like, I don't know. It's because you have like, it's like you almost want to like not literally dance, but you want to like, you need to move. You need to do something. You can't just like sit and listen to something. And I remember like I go do that drug test. I passed it. It was really embarrassing though. I couldn't pee the first time. I was so nervous I couldn't pee. And then after that I did all that crap. And I remember those days that I would like, I did everything I was supposed to, but that like the first day, the drive back was the most like miserable, I can't explain, like the most depressing thing for me, because it was like I did all that work just to like literally slap myself across the face. Like I did all that work at my last job. I got promoted, did all those hours, I rose the ranks. My managers liked me. I got familiar with the people, and like I was thriving at that job. I was thriving. I was doing so good. I wasn't, and the thing about it, my job, the one I had with Amazon, the one that I got fired from that virus, I'll just say, it's not like anything to be proud of that you're a good worker pushing boxes, but to me, I was so just like, because it makes you feel like you're not a fuck up, and I'm not a fuck up in the sense of like I'm not retarded. I'm just like I'm too weak. I'm too self-destructive. I'm too full of negative thoughts that I just assume everybody's bullying me, because that's what I bully myself all the time. It's cowardly. It's stupid. It's weak or whatever, but I remember like I did, it's weird because like before COVID, I talked about before COVID, I used to be insanely good. I told this story because I'm so proud of myself, because like I wasn't always a failure, before COVID, which is ironic. I talked about in my last video. I was like, before COVID, I was actually looking forward to the pandemic, because I was like, okay, I'm 15, 16 years old or whatever. No, 14, 15. And no, I was 15, 16. Yeah, whatever. So I was like, I'm this, 15-year-old, and I'm naive, and I'm like, all right, like there's a pandemic going around. There's this big virus. People are scared about it. It's cool. I like it because it's like we all kind of get a break. We just go inside, watch movies, and it's fine. But it's crazy because it's like, it's almost poetic. Like I was the one looking forward to it, and it completely killed me. The pandemic destroyed me. Never recuperated, lost friends, lost connection with my family. I became very, again, self-loathing, and I never dealt with this shit before. I mean, like a few times, like, it's inevitable as a growing person. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're stressed. It's normal. Like these emotions are normal. But, like prior to this, it was nothing like what I dealt with. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, rather, I remember like I wanted to get a job. I told the story before many times, but I wanted to get a job when I was in middle school, because I grew up poor. I wanted to get a job, help out my family. So what do? My friend and I, we leave school, right? Not literally, but we leave, like when the day finishes, we leave from school, and we go to, in the span of like a couple of days, we go to like 20, 30, 40 different places. I went everywhere. I mean, I went to like those places where they sell like phone service. I went to places where there's like they sell food. I went to places where you're like a grocery bagger. I went everywhere. Just can I sweep the floor? Can I mop the floor? Can I do anything for you? And back then I didn't have any stress about it, but nowadays it's like it's simply. Nowadays, it's too overwhelming for some reason. I struggled a lot to get my last job at Amazon. I did really good there. Again, like I just want to preface, the worst part about getting a job for me is just orientation. The second they leave you alone, the second your managers, they kind of like stop being around you and you're kind of left alone, that's where I'm like, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm great. I'm thriving, being alone, just doing my little job, and I did so good. Like again, it's not anything to be proud of, like, just your job, you're just pushing boxes and putting them in carts or whatever. But like for me, I was happy because I was out of the house. It's crazy to think that I've been unemployed now for a year, for a little bit over a year now. I lost my job around a year ago. And I tried literally like so many times to like try to find another job, and for my own stupidity. I don't blame the job market, and that's not to say that isn't a problem. If other people are dealing with that, and that's a real issue for them. But for me, the only person responsible for this issue, without a doubt, you're hearing him talk. It's me. That's the only person that's responsible. It's only me, just me, myself, and I. Anybody that claims otherwise, it's baloney, But being aware of your faults doesn't necessarily mean that you're off the hook, Being aware of being irrational, self-loathing. You know how many times I told myself, stop being so self-loathing. Be like, love yourself and stop being so stressed out, and forget and forgive about the things bad people did in the past to you or whatever. And it's just like still I'm still in the same spot after all these years. I remember the last time I tried to get a job was back in March. That was the last time I tried to get a job, and I was so I was so ready. I was so ready, man. But that stress doesn't leave at all. That stress, it's so overbearing. It's the same thing. It's so, and I don't want to be on pharmaceuticals. I mean, if it's life and death, I'll get on it. But I don't want to be on pharmaceuticals. But it's I just want to get a job again. I miss being employed. I want to be the way I was when I was younger, before the pandemic, when I could just add, right now, when I was in middle school and shit. Ironically enough, I had bigger balls than I do now. I had bigger balls than I do now, and I had more freedom, ironically enough, when I was younger. When I was younger, I was able to walk home from school and shit. Nowadays, after my mom wouldn't let me do anything, And it's not for anything bad. It's literally just because, maybe it's hereditary. She's very paranoid, just they're gonna get you. They're gonna. What if somebody fucking? She doesn't cuss, but she's like, what if you go to the park and somebody kidnaps you and they rape you and they're gonna kill? And I'm like, Mom, I'm 22. I'm a guy and I'm over 6 feet tall. Who the fuck is gonna do that? But it's weird because I hear the same shit. I don't think I'm gonna get kidnapped. But it's that same paranoia. Maybe it's hereditary. I develop it now. I think I got my paranoia from my mom and myself and my self, loathing from my dad. Maybe, I don't know. He wasn't self-loathing, but he was more isolated. And I predict that was maybe an issue, not self-loathing, but something of that, essence. But I don't know, man. It's weird. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that I want a job. I want a job so bad. And it's good advice that I've thought about is just if the first couple of weeks are the worst, just bite on a stick, metaphorically, and just get it over with, and then boom, you'll be happy. You'll thank yourself in the future. And the thing is, when I'm there, when I'm at the parking lot, and I'm in the car, and that time is ticking down. It's go inside at 8:30, and it's 7:55, and it's just it's ever so. It's almost like time slows down, and all that stress will be a lot more prolonged. It's weird because when I at my last job, I didn't feel. How do you say? I didn't feel. Bad or anything. I felt good. I was a little shy, but I was very good. I was happy. I was a good worker. And I remember people would come up to me and shit. When I would leave, when I'd be finishing my shift, they would come up to me and they would be like, hey, I'm here for an interview, and I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, this place is great, just I would give them the blue pill advice to every other person get, just be, optimistic, and it's your first day, just oh, it goes by like that in a flash. And I remember I used to tell myself, I was during my break, I would sit outside sometimes, and I was like, maybe there's a possibility one day I could lose my job by an illness, I may be missing a little too many days, an accident happening, I fucking do something dumb, I hit somebody's car with my car and I just don't ever show up again, and actually that's a funny story because somebody really did that, not me or to anybody close to me, but it was a really fucked up thing. And it's I just need to get out of this room, bro, because it's terrible, It's ironic how I remember when I went to my job, there was this lady I don't know if it was a joke, but I think it was. But still, it was really, really. I would never do that because I would be really nervous about it. But as a joke, but there was a lady that in the back of her car, she would park in the front of where everybody would go in, and in the back of her car, she would have like, "Come see my titties," and then it would have her OnlyFans and a QR code. And I'm like, dude, this woman has bigger balls than me. Not necessarily speaking that she has an OnlyFans, but she's like, she doesn't give a fuck. Like, I'm over here self-conscious if like I wore the same shirt 2 days in a row, some little pussy shit. I feel self-conscious if like the wind lifts up my bangs and like my Norwood hairline is like showing a little bit. I don't know, dog. Like, I was a good worker. It makes me sad that I really bitched out like that. I tried a lot to just try to get another job, but unfortunately, I shot myself in the foot. Not literally, but I shot myself in the leg. And every single time I tried to get a job, it was the same damn story. I would just have terrible stress. And, it's like, I don't even know what to do about it. Like, I don't want to be on pharmaceuticals, but I don't want to be a bitch either. So, anyway, that was my video talking about being 1 year unemployed. I miss having a job. Summarize everything. I was gone for a week with family. It was great. I continue taking ashwagandha. Hopefully it does something for me. Same thing as always. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.